Ukrainian store. Oh, I
Hello
appreciate
again, Oksana. Yes,
the second part.
today the second part should be yesterday, but we was a bit busy. So today we're going to channel with the Pope Francesco Francis, and we're going to see what we have behind his peace request. That they sound very positive, very good. Actually, we want peace. Okay, for a war that nobody wants, especially the Ukrainians. So many people says, oh, they have to sit and ask for peace. Peace. I think Russia has just to leave Ukraine in peace. Just go away. You
Yeah.
are the tyrant. I mean, and this, because there's many people that are defending the action of Putler, which for me is just um, unbelievable, unbelievable. Even the Stephen, I wanted to say that Stephen King, the writer, is he wrote something very interesting because he's definitely pretty much against
Yeah,
uh,
he wears that shirt stand for
Hitler.
Ukraine all the time in
Yeah,
pictures.
he says after 9 months of killing and in many cases torturing civilians, after razing whole towns, the Russian call blowing up a bridge terrorism. That takes the fucking cake. Sorry for the language. This is Stephen King uh,
Yeah.
message. So,
There's a, oh, sorry, Fiza, I wanted
yes,
to, there's one video I watched yesterday. There was a woman in the video. She considers, she's Russian. She's from Russia, but she's been living here for 20 years, much like me. So she's an American citizen now. But she said since the beginning of the war, I was reaching out for my old school friends in Russia, and they're so brainwashed. I started telling them the truth and they hated me. So I opened a channel. She's on YouTube. I'm going to find her and my idea is to make a video with her
mm-hmm,
in English and in Russian. And she says like I make literally 10-minute videos for Russians, like giving them like spoon by spoon, like to babies, the truth, asking them why are Russian troops on the territory of
mm-hmm.
Ukraine. Like how can you claim you're defending yourself from NATO if you yourself entered a territory that belongs to a different country? Things like that. And she says, if people who grew up in Russia, like me, and she grew up in a good big city, right? She said they've been through Bucha, they've been through Irpin simply by going to school, living, playing with friends. Because she says when you grow up in Russia, everybody abuses you. Starting, most of the family starting from your parents, who are usually alcoholics or just brutal, and they always want you to do. They control you 24/7. Every move, every step you take, everything. And in school, teachers yell at you. She said, I've been raped by my own friends in school so many times. Boys, whom she's trying to make friends when she reached certain age. She said, I've been through Bucha. I know how they torture you. They torture you mentally and then they torture you physically. And she says, I want all Americans to know it, and that's why I opened my channel.
That
And
is
I want all Russians to know and look how they live because they're
mhm,
used to it. You got Stockholm syndrome, right? It's like they got a Stockholm syndrome. They know they live in a country of dictatorship. They
mhm,
know their friends and family abuses them, but they're so used to it they cannot live without it. That's what she
exactly.
said. And she says Ukrainians, and she said one guy was my friend in Ukraine, and she's actually learning Ukrainian. She said the Ukraine I lost my motherland Russia where I was born, but now I'm a new citizen of Ukraine in my heart because I love
Mhm,
Ukrainians how they save animals. She said, imagine one guy, one civilian saved a fish. So they destroyed the house. Everybody's dead, right? Was the bomb. And there was fish, one fish survived in a half broken fishbowl, and he puts it in a plastic bag, puts water, puts it inside his coat because it was cold outside, and walks through where it's like shooting and thinking like, I hope they don't kill me because with me they'll kill the fish. And she said, it's like these little stars got together. She says the unity of this country and this people, I can. She said it's just amazing, amazing how much they love life, how much they would not touch a living being, they would not kill anybody.
Mhm.
And there was a video yesterday just came out. This Russian guy who was actually half of the building fell on his leg, left, no, right leg. He was lying like this, and Ukrainian soldiers come, right? And he says, "Please kill me." Like I don't want to live without one leg because he figured it was just we will probably have to amputate it because it was probably completely shattered by the brick building. And the Ukrainian guy says, "No, we're not like Russians. I'm gonna help you, send you to the doctor." And
Mhm.
and how there are videos like this guy found a little owl, baby owl that fell out of the nest, and there's another video how he's still living with this guy. He sits on his shoulder,
Oh,
and how
that's sweet.
they call them our little friends in action. They have cats and dogs walking with them. Some of them save dogs that their people, something happened to their owners or something, or they just left them
Yeah,
behind and
that is
panic.
another tragedy. All the
Mm,
animals that they've been left behind because
yeah.
at the first when many people left, they couldn't take pets be with them. It was quite sad.
Mm,
Many people are also died in the houses with the animals, and they are,
mm.
unfortunately without, owners anymore. But okay, so when I just count to 1, 2, 3, and we're going to connect with the Pope Francis to see what he knows about this war, what is the plan, and if when he um, you know say that he want a peace is sincere, is honest. Okay, 1, 2, and 3.
If you see, I saw, how was in the Moses story, he has a stick was twisted on top.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that stick, but it's completely made out of light, very bright. That's the first thing I saw, like real close to me, like this.
Mm-hmm.
And then I see some energy behind. I don't see him from a physical perspective. I see a very interesting thing. It's like a spinning, like they draw the DNA, but there's only one strand of light spinning in diagonal.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I touch, that's him, but I hear his thoughts. I should never let go the key of the worlds, the key of the worlds. He calls that stick the key of the worlds of his power, the key to human souls and minds. The key to power lies in human soul, packed in a small body. He's influenced. There's lots of chords behind him. It's like his entire back is like opens up like a lead, and there's like chords coming out.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, I started seeing like faces. Okay, I started seeing like I saw right away Elon Musk, Biden, Obama. The presidents, pretty much all of them, or Clintons. And it goes like, and it's like a big crowd behind with all those faces that people we know in power, of being in power. And the word came, they're all in cahoots, they're all controlled, they all on the road, they're like walking on a thin road. And and then I see Chinese flag, I see Russian flag, I see North Korean flag. It's kind of like that. And they go back and forth, back and forth. And those countries influence very much the agenda. But it's not like the countries, right? It's just the beings behind the countries. Because the narrative of the Pope is like the narrative of Elon Musk right now. I see them hold like, like they're locked in like arms, like they're standing together right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I see Elon Musk on the chair, like he's like strapped to a chair with belts. It's like a platform. On the platform there's a spaceship. It's not flying, it's on a platform. And he's inside some big bright laboratory, just all white lights. And they put like a space helmet on him, and it's connected to some machine in the wall. It's like inserted in the wall, and it's like and he has his eyes closed, like he's semi-conscious, and they download some programming in him. The same thing they do with Pope. It's like as if he had bipolar disorder,
Mm-hmm.
because one day he's pro this country, another day he's against. um he's supposed to fake it, like I see big words, fake it,
Mm-hmm.
fake it to pee. And then I see a white pigeon, so a messenger of love and peace. uh, and then I see a wolf in a sheepskin. He is a wolf in a sheepskin. We're not supposed to see the wolf though,
Why?
b-
Why
because
is?
his feet look like the rooster's feet,
Mm-hmm.
what I'm seeing, but they are bright red and like roosters feet. That's so weird what I see.
Okay. Do you think is ready to listen to us and speaking with you? To we can ask questions.
He's laughing. He's laughing, and in the movies they show like some beast laughing. He's like laughing
Mm-hmm.
like this.
Okay, we can start into asking why he's laughing. Why he finds so funny.
Connected to all the underground, connected to hell in human understanding. All the beasts from hell are released. Hell is just an imaginary world you all believed in one time, and it was created for you, the believers of God, believers of hell, believers of devil. Somebody
S-
has to be playing the opposite side of devil. A wolf in a sheepskin is me. I have to balance out the darkness with my white outfit.
So if is so, ask him if he's so um, happy to, to living in the hell and to be in this dark, living in this dark side of the world. Why is asking for peace? Should be the opposite.
I'm just a program, stupid people. I'm just a hologram and a program. Hologram gets sick, molecules get solid, and you see me as a human. I'm not a human. I'm composed of all kinds of DNA. That's why she sees rooster legs, bright red, covered with blood of little babies. But that's why the pictures, that's why they program me for speeches, they program me for actions. I'm just a cyborg. I'm not a human, what you think of a human. If you, there's just simply no soul in this thing. It's just some sort of electric energy, I want to say. It's just that spinning electric energy that kind of spins that fast. I don't understand the technology, but it solidifies the holographic image into an actual body.
Okay.
It's pretty
Um.
much like the queen or something she
Mhm.
was, and then she kind of like disintegrated in a way and
Mhm.
reappeared energetically. It's
Can,
like artificial soul projection of something like that. This
okay. Can you
comes.
call who's behind this projection? Who's the?
Yeah, let me explain. So I see like, like a seahorse face
Okay.
in the human body, white skin, shiny scales, a high race of reptiloids. They're mixed with white dragons. They mixed themselves genetically with white dragons that they destroyed in this universe because they wanted the wisdom of the dragons. But the wisdom was there was some mechanism. Then when you hybridize yourself with their DNA, you would not get the wisdom. And they didn't get it. They just got the looks from the dragons a little bit. It's almost like the scales with a tiny, tiny little transparent feathers on the scales. In between the scales are, it looks shiny. They are the royal race of reptilians. They are like albino race.
Albino race. Can you describe to the people who watch us what they are, the albino race?
It's like a horse face, like a long, like a greenish dark, like that dark green color, almost like black eyes, with a
Mm-hmm.
red spark in the middle,
Mm-hmm.
like long tail. Long tail was the, how they draw in cartoons, like the tail was the arrow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like a arrow, and it's a plug-in for energy. They
Okay.
have some system where they literally put, I see some interesting thing. It's like a swirl of energy, almost like in some sort of barrel filled with souls. And then they would plug in their tails to suck the energy in and just kind of like we plug the phones into the wall. That's
Okay.
how they use
I
tails.
mean, is for them it's good to use the Pope to suck the energy, but if the people die in a war, obviously they don't have any more the source of the energy, the food.
They said religion the way to control the minds of the cattle. The
Hmm.
wars are is the tool to control the number of the cattle. They breed too fast. The governments of the world are the police that are in charge of the colonized territories. Each territory is a different colony of a different race that are in agreement, much like in European Union that you have. All the organizations that you have in physical are reflections of what we have in the etheric level.
So,
We have the United, like the NATO type organization, but it's where we decide when and where the wars will be ignited. And mostly because at that point we get the information or we traded some resources for the information, how to get certain uh, important structures like crystals or other materials or other artifacts from very old human races that were different from yours and were much smarter and lived longer and much more developed. And the artifacts are underground. And where we find, when we get the information how to open or use a certain artifact, because we know where they are, we create a war on this ground to have access to this artifact and derive it for ourselves.
Okay,
That's why
like the pandemic, they had this massive charge globally. So this time they focus in the fear globally
right,
that there will be a nuclear war,
there's not gonna be a nuclear war.
but the
They don't
people
want
believe
it.
that this is what they want to play this game.
They want people in fear.
Hmm.
The biggest thing that they could use is probably a small rocket, a very fast moving rocket. It's just to scare more. There's a
Ah,
Ephesians, there's a huge, perfectly round ball. You know, like the ball that the witches use.
okay,
In
crystal ball.
it's a crystal ball. It's right. It's right under Kiev. The thing is, they would not bomb Kiev because there's not only crystal ball. There's some interesting things stored there. Also, not only that spaceship that I saw before, there's a whole city underground that they would like to take over. They're a very old generation. Looks like Atlanteans live there.
Hmm.
I'm like circling, my head is almost spinning because you know how they build it? There's a main road, there's like a castle in the middle, and then the road spins
Hmm.
like a seashell. And in between the road, there's water. And the road is elevated, much like castles they show in movies. And there is very tall beings walk. They're physical. I can touch them. They have very long, thin faces. They don't eat because I looked at and no food, just water that they program with their thoughts to nourish their body. They look very thin and tall.
What is the name of these
White
people?
skin. They have crystalline eyes, light blue eyes like water that
So,
sparkle.
okay, what is the purpose of these beings underground? What's this the
Keep the
purpose?
biological original Earth living so that biological living Earth, when the negative vibration is elevated from the surface, they can come up and live on the surface like they used to. But then they were forced by reptilians to go in the inner earth. The reason why reptilians didn't kill them because they had a way to close the portal behind, and they have, it says it's like a mental spell that they have to open portal, close it, because periodically they come out. And they say they're the ones who are gonna protect the land. They're not gonna let any nuclear explosions happen because they are the protectors of the land. And they said that they want our barrels filled with crystals. They have the healing crystals, rejuvenating crystals, look into the future crystals, change the timeline crystals, teleportation crystals, uh, fuel for ships crystals, different.
Is the other forces are aware of this treasure, if we want to call?
All of them aware.
This is why they don't bombard Kiev because this.
It's under the big hill. It's on the right. It's in the old part of the city that is around 3,000 years old.
Okay, so what's gonna happen then? Can you call? Can you contact the leader of this race and ask them if what is going to happen with this war then? What is?
Janusz. His name is Janusz.
Hmm.
He has like a little, almost like a crown, but it's not a crown, it's energetic. They actually shaped crowns looking like the one he wears, but kings on the surface made it out of gold or whatever they,
Hmm.
but it's actually supposed to, his crown produces light that looks like a crown, around with a little bit sparkles coming out. Looks like those peaks on the crown that we saw, like we draw usually on
Hmm.
kings.
Ask
He
him
has
if.
red rubies.
Okay, it still has a lot. It's different from the other. You know, let's say
Yeah,
community.
it's like a hood made out of um it's like a golden fabric. It's very soft fabric, but it's made out of gold. I have no idea how they do it. But he has rubies on it.
Okay.
Little. And he wears a hood, and above the hood you see this bright light in the shape of a crown. And he said this is the ancient race of Terra, from where they they copied it. They copied. He said they never took our DNA. They just copied it. They replicated it in the lab.
Mm-hmm.
He said your bodies are totally artificial. They just combine different alien races trying to replicate a body that we have. But we don't eat. We don't destroy anything. We just drink. We drink the water, which is the energy of the earth. The energy of the earth gives energy to its cells or crystals. And cells or crystals are humanoid forms, us who live on it, to sustain it, to provide energy of imagination and creation to it. That's how we should live. They distorted the reality we had and they made it into a harsh physical reality to be able to torture a soul through physical body. He said, my body is semi-physical. I can become physical, but if somebody threatens me or tries to kill me, I can disintegrate into non-physical. So it's impossible to kill me.
Mm-hmm. Is any of these, let's say, different forces that they try to make a deal with him because they know that is very difficult to destroy, or example, putting entities behind, this.
AI forms
Mm-hmm.
of
Did they
reptiloid form, of reptiloid
how,
empire.
how they find out the existence of this underground world?
He showed me the red square. He opened the hologram. He did this, and I see like a screen.
Mm-hmm.
He shows me the red square and the Kremlin and the mausoleum where the Lenin is. He said, "You destroy the Lenin, you destroy the dynasty of all the Vladimirs who are supposed to control the world. They're trying to make them control the world. And in my physical mind, I recently saw a video how like old ladies in Russia were screaming like Putin is the president of the world. It kind of makes sense. That's the what they're trying to put in people's minds.
Mhm. So why they want them? Because they have all these obviously powerful tools. They can travel with the timelines. They can see the future, or there is more. If they want to be like them, how they think they can put the ants in this energy, this source of energy that they live.
They can ever control a soul, they can control a physical. That's why they create leaders, one after another, to implement the rituals of their dark worlds where killing and torture prevails, and where through killing and torture you can capture a soul that is inside the physical. That's just the tools that they use to capture more souls. And then they genetically modify them. Some of them they get split up and they put them in cyborg bodies. In those countries that are controlled by dictators,
Hmm.
most of the people are cyborgs. So they are running a program. Therefore, you cannot convince them or change their belief systems. They're just gonna stay that way until you destroy the cyborgs. The only way to destroy the cyborgs is explosions. I see fire, fire.
Okay, so I mean, ask if this war is real. I mean, in the end of the day, that they are threatening people with the nuclear. If USA and Russia they are on the same side because they want, or they are just fighting each other to get this treasure.
There was an influx of star souls coming to all the countries. Ukraine is the biggest in Europe. Therefore, we can start from the biggest to destroy the little bodies of children that carry the star souls that's supposed to lead the humanity to the new level of consciousness and development, which will stand above what it is now, which will be pro life and pro love. The Pope is supposed to fake the pro love and pro life, but the only souls that don't fake it and came here with the only desire to help out humanity are the little children with big souls that are being killed in the war. That's why the war was created. They want more of those souls to be killed, to postpone the rise in humankind consciousness. You cannot stop it, but you can postpone it. That's what they're doing with the war. And there are more numbers of those souls that are taken. You know the number 1,000 children, but it's many more. Those who disappeared are being used for rituals by the dark side that works through those that you know of Russian people. They work through them to take the children and use them.
So there will be a escalation with this. I mean, killing people, obviously children.
Yeah, because they fracture souls. When you fracture a soul, you can use that soul because it's already damaged. And you can create zombies, you can create killers, you can create more dark forces, more dark souls incarnated in bodies to make this world even darker. It's simple. You spread the darkness that way.
Hmm. So, is any good news that they can see in the crystal, time, traveling time?
He shows me a big book. It's covered with some crystals too, different colors. He opens it up and he says, okay, look at this. Each page of the book is a different timeline. The cover of the book is the main timeline created by the reptilian forces controlling the world. You're still gonna see, and some of you will experience the dark times of the different timelines, but you all will be on different pages of the book. Each of you, each of your country, each of people in each country will have a different story, experiencing different tragedies. It's either going to be physical tragedies or emotional or psychological or mental tragedies that will bring you to higher level, which bring you above the programs implemented and locked in into the DNA of this physical body, which is be higher than others, be happy when others are suffering, take care only about yourself, and pretend that nothing bad is happening to others if you feel fine. Some things like that have to strike some people. So basically, you're going to be within a big, giant timeline that will have major events like hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, wars, a lot of protests. But it doesn't mean that you will be taking part of those. At the same time, you could observe them. And if you don't derive certain conclusion out of those events, then you will go through them physically because that's what your soul wants. That's the only way for you to get out of this massive AI technology machine through understanding. If you don't understand it mentally, if you cannot get to come to certain conclusions, then you'll go through it physically to get to those conclusions. There's only two ways.
Hmm.
So, in a way, it's a good news for you because you're given an opportunity to do just that. Otherwise, you would be just living your simple lives and, in a way, suffering quietly, and in some of you enjoying it quietly. But nothing major would ever happen unless the reptilian force, as a dark side of the duality, would cause what it's causing now.
Can you ask if you can if it's possible, if for the people like us that we work for the truth, and to even in a way to make aware people about our you know power, even to decide when we leave our body, to to don't be kidnapped again or abducted by these reptilians. If you can give us I don't know, let's say even we can ask a bit of a sparkle, like a dust that can allow us to spread the word of protection and
Spark
awareness.
of light in high rotation, which means high vibration, cannot be captured by the magnetic fields,
Hmm.
electronic fields of any being that is lower in vibration. than that spark of light. So if you spin out of your body in high vibration, being excited about living it, you will be fine. You
Good.
don't need any protection.
Okay. So how we teach them to spin?
It's just your wanting. That's
Mm-hmm.
all done by your wanting. You're a major creator. You only use your mind to create. When you don't have the physical, nothing stops you from creating, which takes it's like a speed of light creation. So you want it, it's done.
Okay. Um, so his name again is this leader name is Janusz, you says.
Yeah,
Okay.
Janusz.
So we can call them the crystal beings. So what are they going to do? They're going to stay in this under world, or they going one day surface? What is their plan then?
He says there are two phases of Earth. There's a biological phase where they can come out. It's on the other side that we don't see. It's more energetic. That's why we don't see it. That's where the old world is still preserved, and that's where reptilians cannot come because it's like hell for them because it's too high of a vibration where they would melt and burn.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just waiting. It's like you know when two soap bubbles get united like this in a eight, in that get like this connected. So there's
Mm-hmm.
one biological earth here connected to the non-biological earth.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they are. They are, for us it is as if they lived inside the earth, but for them it's both. They can walk in inside the earth because it's more a high vibration, that particular spot for them, but it connects to their, totally opens up like a flower of the biological earth that was originally created. So they're not like suffering or anything, they're just kind of waiting for the moment when the metallic part, it's like you get a wart on a finger, right? And then you apply something to eliminate the wart. So they're basically waiting for the moment when the wart falls off.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what they are. And they say that all those artifacts and all those crystals are contributing to the sparks of light going to the right people who generate their own pool of light. And then they connect to each other, connect to each other, connect to each other. And there's certain people that nobody can really touch them. People can try to irritate them, get to them, try to physically, only through physical means, which is voice, devices, try to target them, but they cannot do anything to them. They're just total untouchable.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the ones, those people, they're the ones connected to crystals underground.
Mm-hmm. So what about you, Oksana, me, and the people
You're
that?
connected to big, big giant blue crystal. It
Mm-hmm.
looks like like a big pod with a big kind of like spikes all around,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like petals, but they're like this. And you're connected right to the center of it.
Can you ask them if the people they follow us, they through us, they can use the same because they're learning, yeah. So they to create the community that I mean we can spread the word, become a bigger. That is what we want as well because it's not like
Mhm.
because our work is to heal and to in a way even to pass the testimony, the message that
Mhm.
we are beyond, we are not just flesh and meat and blood is, I mean we are more than that. So we can't be
Right.
only a routine, boring, eating, drinking, having children and dying. So I mean, yes, it's experience, even this one, but I mean, if we have experience that we suffer every day, that is no energy because these big bosses, these leaders, these dictator tyrants make our life a hell in this experience. No, thank you very much. So,
Right. The thing is, see, this is interesting, Ephesia. First of all, I saw that I'm connected to some crystal lake, and the water it is a different consistency that on Earth, but I connected to a different. It's not even in this universe. It's a different universe I'm connected to. Second of all, he gave me information that reptilians are also different. Some of the reptilians, like let's say if we take the president of the United States, those reptilians who stand behind him, they want to save the planet, preserve it for experimentation programs and stuff. They're more gentle on people in a way, if you wish. And then there are uh, more destructible reptilians that just want to destroy everything, and there's a strong program going in them of destruction of the worlds. That's all they want, because from destroyed worlds they create black holes. Black holes can be used for dark energies and for forming. It's like a platform for creating new AI creatures, new forms of AI creatures, like a factory,
mhm.
right? That's why they want to destroy. So there's also in between reptilians they have fights too.
Yeah, I know, of course.
So that's what he said. Basically, that's what we're observing. And some of the reptilians or some of the races are rebellious. They actually want to go back to the original planet because they liked it there. They could have used it as their own home, which is, let's say, for Anunnaki, they want to go more to the original state of the planet, more to the state, and they liked it when humans were in a state of love. For them, there was some energy there. They could even take and transform into something they needed. And some of the energy of love they needed too for raising their babies, for instance. That's why I keep seeing Zelensky representing the Anunnaki and some other races, because he actually has empathic abilities. He has soul, and he represents the humanoid forms who want this planet to go back to its original self, or at least semi-original self. Okay, so it's always a percentage of particular agendas that
Mm,
compose each and every person or character. You know what I mean? And a lot of them are influenced, and a lot of them have very good intentions, but then they get into system and they have to maneuver in the system, right?
mhm,
Not to get killed, let's say.
mhm. They are still, we know that reptilians, they are still natural killers. I mean, but what about places like Israel, Palestine, Syria, places like, you know,
Mesopotamia,
yeah,
very highly energy dense places, very good for healing. It came to me, healing is number one. They can, I see some interesting thing. I see like a desert. It's made out of dust, like orange yellow dust. And I see there's like bathtubs or capsules, I have in sand, in the dust, and I see people going in, and I see them closing it, and they heal. There's something about the places, there's like energy dense, and they form it like a little swirl of energy around this capsule that made out of like crystalline structures. There, most of them are green, some blue, some yellow. It depends what you need to heal. And then the capsule absorbs energy from the land and puts it into the body, and the body heals like a matter of 10 minutes, 15
wow.
minutes. You know what I mean?
It, yeah, it's nothing to do with the Dead Sea, with the Dead Sea people floating, they can't go. under the, I
Yeah, it's
mean,
kind of like that.
mm-hmm,
Because the salt has very high energy, high vibration. Salt heals. Salt kills bacteria because bacteria is of low vibration. That's
mm-hmm.
why.
I mean, no, I know salt is very, they call even a natural protection when you use, obviously,
Absorbs
mm-hmm,
negativity.
yeah, negativity, and especially when we put salt, in our houses, they suck all the negativity energy. They become gray to become even black sometime. So,
Mm,
okay, so I would like to ask you, if to Janusz, if they are connected with the ley lines under cities, or in countries, the ley lines that basically is like the energy, it's like a current, like tubes
the
of
roads of
energies.
life. He calls them the roads of life that carry information through light and sound throughout the planet. And that's how you can shoot one idea to another part,
Mm-hmm,
and you can also create a little ball of light, fill it up with the creation idea, charge it up with your hands, and put it in a ley line, and it will shoot into the point.
mm-hmm.
It's programmed by your thought, and it would blossom into beautiful forest or trees or plants or whatever that is you put in there.
Okay, so if everybody of us, they put this thought, this beautiful, like a meditation, or even if it's 5 seconds, thinking for the best, not like the reptilians, the physical world. They want to pray
Mm,
because religion is always a way to, to dictate like a order, because you pray the beast, basically you pray
mm,
what they are not doing nothing for peace, because they still there, and nothing is always, it's like a script of a movie that it repeats itself over and over and over. Nothing's changed. People become more rich, and the leaders, they become more powerful. So is nothing is change. So
mm,
we going to send these informations with a beautiful thought of a positive energy to these ley lines, in order that many people, they're starting to automatically to connect with the source of peace and protection, and
mm.
make all these entities weaker and weaker, because this is what we want, because this world for these entities, these forces are is just a big cake.
Yeah, also the different waves of people protesting and things happening on the surface also destroys the artificially created electromagnetic fields.
Hmm.
Because this thing is, what they use, the colliders, the weather manipulators, are slowly but surely destroy the system, and they know it, and they cannot fix it. So any artificial is bound to fall apart at some point, and they know, it will. It's just that they can slow it down. They
Hmm.
can buy themselves more time. That's exactly what they're doing now by eliminating the souls that came to help out.
Can you ask Janusz, if we, all the people that are aware, they are awakening about these fake containers like the Pope, Putler, and all the other leaders that are just there, it's like basically a cyborg. How we can make them, let's say, become weaker until they fall off or exploded. I don't want to use this word,
Right.
but how we can even recognize them, and where is the weak side, yeah, where we can make them
He nods his
shown.
head. He understands what you mean. He says
Hmm.
you have to understand. The minute you believe in one leader or another, you're automatically connect to that person or cyborg or machine, it doesn't matter. You give your energy and
Mm-hmm.
you get yourself hooked up by your own will to that particular AI machine. Starts draining your energy. And that's why that machine leaves. If people just said, I don't trust, I don't believe in Putler, I absolutely against him, and they would lose that ego part of themselves inside, that tells them that without that leader, my country is nothing, which is what the program they insert in their heads. That very moment, that leader falls.
Mm-hmm.
And he
Okay.
said that he's going to fall soon
And
anyway.
and and how we can recognize a possible new putlers, new reptilians, where they're trying to, like, say, we're going to, I always talk about, communities,
Mm,
new connection with the nature, with the animals, the spirits.
right,
So how we
right.
recognize inside that we have the wolves, some reptilian,
Yeah.
camouflage with a nice, lovely, positive soul that they want to do the best for the community. So how we can recognize this? This is what we want to
Well, you
interact.
feel right away because they also want to. The reptilians always want to get you on their side. If somebody tries to get you on their side, or tries to create a group, a big group, anybody who creates large groups of people to influence other groups, and those who become very aggressive if you voice different opinion, those are definitely either are or controlled by
Mm-hmm,
reptilians. It's you live in a reptilian society. All your measures of control are reptilian measures. So it just all the systems are reptilian systems. What matters is your interaction with a person that you feel light with, you feel yourself with. You don't have to pretend somebody to be somebody that you are not. It's just that feeling of being a child and making friends with somebody at the playground. That's how you're supposed to feel.
mm-hmm. So we have before we finish, because we are almost an hour, three or four rapid questions, very quickly, short answer. So Pope, this Pope, how long it will last, and if there will be a new one after Pope Francis?
It says there will be another one. That's the most
Right.
probable timeline. It's
Okay.
not true what they say that the Pope is going to be gone. As long as the system exists, as long as everything works, Pope will be.
So there will be always the Vatican. It will going to exist for.
Oh, they'll keep it until the very end. They're gonna
Hmm.
destroy it. That it's kind of like shooting some beast into a heart. The whole beast will die if Vatican falls.
Hmm. Um. Okay. So what's about the energy on all these? They created first the pandemic fear. Now they created now the nuclear fear.
There's
So
gonna be another pandemic here.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There's gonna be
Because
another coming.
so the nuclear fear is a bluff.
It's not gonna be happening. The alien forces themselves, even malevolent ones, are not gonna let it happen.
Hmm. So I wanted to ask to Janusz, because obviously they know a lot of stuff. Last 2 nights ago, last night I was blood moon, but 2 nights ago I went out in the garden. I was almost 6 o'clock in the morning, and I
Mm,
saw lot lights. This sounds like stars, but I never saw stars in the middle. There was flashing like red things.
mm,
I made even some pictures and a video. So is this spaceships or spacecrafts that are now showing up like they says that
mm.
they will
Because
going
they
to
want to
be.
tell you that we exist. They want you to get used to the idea that you have masters that come from above,
Mm-hmm.
And at some point, you'll be listening to masters because they also program you through different teachings on Earth that the aliens are good, that you have to listen to aliens and do what they want you to do.
Another group. Anyway, it's true that they were
Hmm.
going to show up to the people.
There are
Uh,
more and more.
yeah,
They want people to get used to it, and at some point they'll show up, and people are not going to be freaking out. They're just going to be so used to them, they'll welcome them.
it's another, lamb. I mean, another wolf.
Wolf in a lambskin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
You live in a world of deception.
exactly. So this is why isn't even having a boring normal life is not possible anymore. It's too hard. It's too hard.
Mm.
Because I mean, we are obviously we knew it that this is a world of interferences. It's like a jungle of interferences, and it's like a war basically. Just when you're born to be alive, the child, the baby, is suffers straight away when I arrive this life. This is
Right.
why I need to understand how we can avoid the abduction, how we can keep this information in with ourselves when we leave this container.
What you believe that you're not gonna get abducted. You believe that you have the force,
Hmm.
that you're determined, you're gonna be in control of yourself. That's all.
Okay,
I'm so
okay.
tired. Sorry. I had to
It's
get
okay
answered like
that you recharge yourself with this beautiful. How you can access the source of yourself, Oksana. You can protect it.
yeah, I do it every day. I mean, I just it's all about the belief. It's all about the belief. Like, people should stop having these thoughts. What if? What if I get abducted? What if this? No, just know that you're gonna be in control of yourself. That's it. You're in
Exactly.
charge.
This is the information that we need to basically to keep with us until the end, until we leave this dress, this container. Okay, so
Mhm.
that is
Yeah.
important. And obviously, yes. So that is what it was very interesting. Maybe in the future we're going to connect with Janusz directly for certainly questions. So thank
Okay.
you very much.
Thanks.
Like always, you've
Thanks.
been again very, very superlativa.
Mhm.
And yeah, we'll
Thanks.
speak you soon with the next, conversation.
Okay.
Bye
Till
bye.
next week. Bye bye.
Bye bye.